Welcome to VNA Health Highlights, a program of the Visiting Nurse Association of Cape Cod. I'm Jean Sarnowski, and on today's program we're going to learn a little bit more about the blood donor program through Cape Cod Healthcare. And I'm lucky today to have as our guests Diane Pratt. Welcome, Diane, who is the program director.
Donor recruiter, actually.
Okay, donor recruiter. There you go. And Connie Patton, who is the blood center supervisor. Very good. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jean.
This is fun. So now, just for the viewers, I'd like to have them know a little bit about you and what was your interest. So Diane, I'll start with you.
Okay, sure. Well, I've only been at Cape Cod Healthcare for a couple of months, but I am a native of Cape Cod. I was actually born at Cape Cod Hospital.
Good for you.
And we go back probably about 7 generations, so I'm very vested with the healthcare on Cape Cod.
You're a rare find then, right?
Probably.
That's nice. You don't run into too many people that have been here for that many generations.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
So what about your interest in something like the blood donor program?
Well, it seemed to be a really nice fit. Previously, I was a director for the March of Dimes for a number of years.
Okay.
So I love working with nonprofit organizations, and I love being out in the community. So this was sort of a nice fit for me because I can use my community relations and my public relations skills and do something that I truly believe in, which is getting more blood donated to Cape Cod Healthcare.
Very good. Good. Now what about you, Connie?
I'm a newbie to the Cape.
Ah.
I'm from Western Mass originally, and I came out here about 18 months ago for the job at the healthcare center, and it's been great. I've been really enjoying it. We're really trying to really promote the donor program and build that up.
Did you have a particular interest in a blood donor program? Were you involved with one before?
I was,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, okay.
I ran it at Bay State Medical Center in Springfield, Mass.
Oh,
Yep.
very good, very good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice move.
Yes.
So the blood donor program at Cape Cod Healthcare differs from other programs out there, which you probably have good experience with because you've seen one. In what ways?
Well, I think the primary difference with us is that all the blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare actually stays here on the Cape. We don't sell it, it doesn't go anyplace, it just stays right here on the Cape to save the lives of our family, friends, and neighbors. And right now at Cape Cod Hospital, we do about 7,000 transfusions a year, and Falmouth Hospital does about 3,000 transfusions a year.
Now, is that a lot for so viewers might say, compared to?
That's a good number.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes, yep, it is. And right now we're only about 35% of the blood that we get from our donor program helps with our transfusions at the hospital.
So that number that you just had of all the transfusions, only 35% is covered by our own blood, and then we have to, do they end up buying it from someplace else? Do we buy blood?
Well, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, we have our primary blood suppliers, Rhode Island Blood Center, and we do get some blood from the American Red Cross.
Okay, very good. So is that different when you say that we don't sell any of our blood? Is that unusual for an organization? Or?
It isn't. We are not. You have to have a certain license to be able to sell blood.
Oh, okay.
And we just take care of Falmouth and the Cape Cod Hospital.
Okay. Is it just the physical hospital locations where the blood is used, as opposed to the affiliate doctor's offices?
Oh, yes. Yeah, no. They would, if anybody needed a transfusion from a doctor's office, they'd probably come into the hospital to IV therapy or, the oncology unit, that type of thing.
Okay. So when people ask, where does my blood donation go? It stays right here?
It stays right here. It goes to the babies and the oncology patients.
Yeah, so that would be the other question.
Yep.
When viewers hear how many transfusions there are, thousands. Mm-hmm. What type of patients are being transfused? How is that used?
Open heart surgery. We have, a good open heart surgery at the hospital. Trauma, accident victims.
Oh, accident, yeah.
That type of thing. Maternity,
blood loss
oncology.
during birth or whatever, yeah?
Yeah, oncology is a big one too.
Oncology is a big one?
Yeah. So those are your basic users.
Okay. Do you know how the program began on the Cape? Do you have a history of?
Actually, we did. We looked it up last week, and back in the 1970s, it was started by Dr. Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah. And he started the program, and then it's continued to grow. And then they brought me in so that I would continue to not only bring in new blood drives, but to increase donor participation at the existing blood drives so that we can have the blood supply that we need on hand when we need it.
So when the program started, was it always for CAPE use only? Do we
Yes.
know? Yes. So all along it's been the blood that's given here stays here.
It does.
Is that the big selling point of it, do you think?
I think so.
A question that you get from donors maybe that are,
Well, from donors and also from a lot of people that want to host a blood drive.
Oh,
If I'm out speaking to different people, they're not aware that that is the point, that the blood donated to us stays here on Cape Cod. And a lot of people that I've spoken to said to them it makes a huge difference because the Cape is such a close-knit community
Yeah.
that they kind of like the idea of being able to help our families and neighbors here on Cape Cod.
right, that does make a difference.
Yeah.
So how successful are you feeling that blood drives are now? Has it grown, what was it, 1975? No.
In the 70s.
Oh,
yeah.
in the 70s, okay.
I'm not sure what the stats were back then. Do you know, Connie?
It's been an amazing,
Amazing growth.
increase.
The growth,
Yep.
yeah. But you're not where you want to be yet.
No.
So where do you want to be? So where do you want to be?
When we grow up.
Well, by the end of the fiscal year, we hope to be around 60% sufficient.
And we're 35 now,
And we're
did you say?
35 right now. Yeah. So I have a big job to do. I have a lot of people to talk to and a lot of donors to recruit.
Okay. So what are your goals to grow it then?
Well, the goals are to have probably 4 drives a week. We need
What do we have now?
right now? Well, we're averaging 2 to 3 drives.
Okay.
Some weeks we do 4.
Okay.
We need to have at least 25 donors per drive.
And that now it's...
And well, it varies. Right now it could be sometimes 10, 15. So we need
Okay.
to up those numbers a little bit.
So you up the number of drives.
Right, and
up
the numbers
number
of
that are
participants.
participating.
Yeah,
Okay.
and our schools are actually our largest drives. High
Really?
school students.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
How old do you have to be to give?
16 with parental permission.
Wow.
Yep.
So that's all lined up ahead of time.
It is. We work very closely with several of the schools on Cape, and it's our goal to get into every high school on Cape Cod to have them all participating with Cape Cod Healthcare. So right now we do have several schools, and they do extremely well. And we also go to Mass Maritime Academy, and we have
Oh.
Cape Cod Community College.
So are those your biggest?
They are.
All right.
By far.
Yeah, and the high schools. Yeah.
So are drives your greatest resource for bringing in the blood as opposed to people coming in and saying, hey, I want to donate a pint?
Yes. I mean, we're there, a couple days a week, but it's limited. And I don't know, I think our drives were just more concentrated on getting the donors in.
So tell me about the different places that you do drives. So you do the schools.
We do
Mass
schools,
Maritime.
Mass Maritime. We do Harwich Community Center, Chatham Community Center, Bass River Rod and Gun Club, Museum of Natural History in Brewster.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually doing one on December 18th for the Howard Masonic Lodge in memory of Joshua Sears. This will be a 23rd anniversary of one for him.
We'll be at Woods Hole tomorrow.
Yeah, we're at Woods Hole Aquarium tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
We do on Shepley Wood Products. We do one out there. We do one at Sencor.
So you have
The Moose Lodge.
Yeah,
so you have other nonprofits
We do.
that participate, and then you have some small business and larger business that do.
Several churches.
Oh, churches, yeah. Senior centers, that was
Yeah.
other nonprofits, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, anyone that wants to do a blood drive, even if you have a very small business, we can combine you with other small businesses into one location.
Oh.
And we're in the process of hopefully getting a blood coach so that next year we'll be able to go out and be mobile and be self-contained.
So yes, describe a blood coach. When you first told me, I thought,
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
watching football.
Yeah.
No. So this is a vehicle,
Yes.
and
Connie, you
other
can tell
people
them-
might think of it as
Right.
nationally. It could be a bloodmobile.
A
Right.
bloodmobile,
Would
yes.
be-
So we're hoping to get a bloodmobile, 4 to 5 beds, and what would be nice is a lot of the businesses on the Cape are small and they don't have a room big enough to host us, to have a breakdown. So we could just pull up to a parking lot, set up and open our doors and start collecting blood. It would be nice.
That would be nice. So do you have a goal of we hope to have a blood mobile by
Next fiscal
Next
year,
fiscal-
yes.
2014?
Yeah.
Yep.
By the end of 2014?
The fall.
Yeah, that's our goal.
Fingers crossed, yep.
That would be great.
Yes.
Would that incentivize more companies, do you think, to come on board and do it because perhaps now they don't have space? Or?
I think it would, because as Connie said, we're able to just pull into a parking lot and have it drive right there. So I think that's a little bit easier for some employees,
Right, right.
rather than the way that it is right now.
Yeah.
And then we'd be able to hit more locations in a day, too,
Yeah.
How
many people in the department or in the organization are out there running the drives? I mean, are you limited by the number of employees that are available to go host the drive, draw the blood, set up the stuff?
We have 6 staff members right now, and they're all certified donor room phlebotomists.
And they are the blood donor program staff?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a wonderful volunteer who goes to the drives and helps us with all the computer registration, which is a big help. And then we get volunteers, like at Falmouth Hospital, we have volunteers. They give out the juice and the cookies,
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure that the donors are okay after they donate. So, yeah, we have 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had a mobile, that would expand that service a little bit more. Yeah. So what are your greatest challenges? Is it?
I think getting people, I think it's education more than anything else. People need to know that it really doesn't hurt. Some people say to me, the finger prick is worse than, the blood draw. And really, it only takes, 6 to 10 minutes?
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's not long at all, and 1 pint of blood can save up to 3 lives. So it's a huge thing that you're giving, it's actually the gift of life.
Right.
And very few people have any problems. They sort of do a mini physical to make sure that you're healthy enough
Right.
to donate the blood.
So what does that entail? So talk to me about give me just a descriptive scenario of a day at a blood drive.
So you would go in and we'd give you a questionnaire with some
Okay.
education materials. It's about 54 questions. It talks about travel. It talks about
Travel?
And like if you've gone to a country where there's malaria,
Oh, good.
or a lot of the countries in Europe have mad cow disease, so they've excluded some people.
Just because they've visited the area.
You have to, 3 months. 3 months or more in
Within,
the United
okay.
Kingdom, or 5 years or more in
Sure.
European
That just adds
countries.
that extra risk for the blood.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that was the thing, that the initial screening is trying to make the blood supply as safe as possible. So the initial screening is the questionnaire.
Okay.
And then we do, like Diane said, a mini physical. So we'll do your hemoglobin to make sure that you have enough hemoglobin, iron, to donate safely.
And that's something you can do on the
With a
spot
little
while we're
finger
there.
stick,
And that's
yeah.
the finger stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we will take your temperature to make sure that you haven't had a fever, which could be a sign of an infection. We'll do your blood pressure and your pulse to make sure that there's no underlying, condition, a heart condition or something like that would exclude you. And then we do the donation.
So I filled out my 54 questions. I hand it back.
Yep.
You do my finger stick. Say, okay, you're good with this. You're good with this. Please go lie down.
Yes.
Yes. And then it's
Basically.
only
And stick
5
your
to
arm
10
out.
minutes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then how long do I hang out after?
Then we like to make sure that you're feeling okay. So we give you the juice and the
Falling
cookies
over,
and
yeah.
yep.
Stand up. Oh, she was here a
Most
minute ago.
people, like Diane said, are fine. So, maybe
Okay.
another 10, 15 minutes, make sure you're okay, and then you're on your way.
Okay.
The key is to make sure you're well hydrated before you come and that you've had a good meal. A lot of people think, I'm not going to eat. That's the worst. Make sure you have a good meal, well hydrated, lots of water.
Now, how do people know that ahead of time? Is that, so if, say, my company is hosting a drive, do we have a sign-up sheet ahead of time so you know what you're going to be faced with,
You
right?
do.
And then education materials like that, make sure you're well hydrated before you come. And
You do, and especially when we're at the high schools, we make sure that we say to the students, did you eat a good breakfast this morning? If not, we say, go get something to eat, and then come back,
then
and we'll
come back.
put you right in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What about any other issues of, I'm on particular medication for blah, blah? Does that come into play with whether you,
Most medications are fine.
okay?
I would say just about all of them. We do have another informational sheet that talks about a couple of the medications that would defer you. A couple would defer you for good. A few are just like a 3-month or a 6-month deferral. Antibiotics, we want to make sure that you don't have any infection, so that would be a 48-hour
Oh, yeah.
deferral.
And any other, gee, I had a cold last week, or I just got over the flu, or?
We'd ask you to refrain, and give it a couple days. More, well, for the blood supply to be safe, but also for your benefit too, because we don't want to put you in any situation that would, compromise how you're feeling either.
Right, right. And how often can I do this?
56 days, every 56
56 days.
every 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Do you get frequent flyers like that?
We do. We do.
So believers in giving.
And we'll be setting up an 8-week club so that annually we'll be
Oh.
able to recognize them and thank them for their donations.
Right.
And they are so dedicated and so devoted. Wow. Yeah.
So who makes up your most popular donors? Who are your donors?
I think it varies. I think it's people who just want to do something and give back to the community. I think it's a lot of medical personnel who know the need for it. I think it's a lot of people who have been affected either by family or friends who have needed blood. Connie, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, we have professional, we have business, we have, you name it. I
Men,
mean,
women? Do you have-
absolutely.
Yeah,
they're
the
about
students.
50-50. Yeah.
50-50, men and women, yeah?
Yeah.
The students are huge. The students love to give. Yeah,
Isn't that fun?
yeah.
Is there an ideal donor? Age, health?
No.
Athletes,
Good
you know,
health,
you say, oh, athletes are
110
great.
pounds.
Any age.
Yeah.
There's no
Any
age limit
No.
once you're 16 or older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Wow.
upper age limit.
I do remember in college we had a house full of guys next door, and they actually would do the plasma donation
Yeah.
regularly to make money, right?
Yep.
On the side. So that doesn't fall into that
No.
56 day. So the actual taking of the blood is a phlebotomist. They're trained. We don't have to worry about, oops.
Blood donation
again.
is perfectly safe. Every needle is brand new and it's sterile and only used once. And
It's attached right to the bag.
Yep.
Yeah. So
What kind of questions do you get from the donors? Do you have a lot of first timers that are saying, I've never done this before, can you tell me about?
we've had some, yeah.
yeah. Will it hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
that's the
biggest
big one.
one, yeah.
Will it hurt?
Yeah,
And it's like a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you getting the word out on the program?
Well, I've been meeting with everyone that will listen to me. I've been meeting with most of the president and executive directors of the chambers on all the Cape towns, a lot of the different school people, businesses, any organization. If they have any opportunities for speakers, please call me. I'm more than happy to come out and speak to any groups, I don't care what size, just to get the word out there.
How far do you go? Are you Plymouth to P-Town or
Born to P-Town.
born to P-Town?
Yep.
And any of the businesses, schools, whatever,
Anybody, just
that
give
has
us
the
a call.
space to do it?
Yes, and if they don't have the space, as I said, we do have some locations that are larger, so we can use them as the hosting facility, but it would still be your own business's blood drive. So you would still be able to advertise
Okay.
that it's your business.
Is that the expectation of the businesses that they do a little bit of their own advertising for the drive, or do you provide all the support materials?
We provide all the support materials. We do ask that whoever is going to host the blood drive that they help us by reaching out or e-blasting any of their members or
whatever, yeah.
employees, people that are in their databases. We don't take their databases. And we do send out information by constant contact and flyers and posters, but it's mostly grassroots. It's, talking to people, knocking on doors,
Really,
and
yeah.
just spreading the word.
Yeah. What's the lag time between, say I'm in a business, okay, I'm going to work with you, we're going to do a blood drive. how much time do you give them to get it promoted, or how long do you take to promote it? Is it just a few weeks before I'm making this decision, we're going to start talking about it, talking to our employees? 2 weeks later we have it set up, or?
You can in some cases. We like probably a month to be able to prepare
Yeah,
for
just
it,
so
and we're
people have an
usually
idea.
kind of booked.
Oh, good.
We're already scheduled, so right now we're into January.
So if I called you today, January, we could think about getting something going.
Absolutely.
And
And that's only right now because of the holidays.
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the holidays, is that a big time for blood drives? Because people are giving, or
Actually,
is it the
it is.
opposite? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember a couple people, this was, my last Christmas gift, and they come in and they give blood. Yeah,
Good idea.
yeah.
And also the need increases around the holiday time too.
Is that right? Because of?
Well, accidents, that type of
Yeah.
thing, and illnesses, and
Oh, yeah. Is the Cape, does it have different challenges because of our fluctuating population for seasonal?
We do have a very, very busy ER in the summer.
Right.
That's where you're going to see most of your accidents, accident victims, that type of thing. We also, a lot of people visiting, tourists,
Right.
sometimes need blood, for whatever reason, maternity, that type of thing.
Yeah. Is that a population that you tap into for giving as well, the seasonal?
We try.
yeah,
Yeah.
if they're here, and absolutely. We did have someone at a blood drive a couple of weeks ago who was on vacation with his wife, and they were driving by. It's actually the Museum of Natural History in Brewster,
Oh, yeah.
and they saw our sign out in front, and they came in, and the husband donated, and they were on vacation. And I thought, wow, that's a dedicated donor.
That is.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So some place like that, the museum, has done it before, they host regularly,
They do.
annually, or every couple of months they do it, or?
I'm not
Do you know?
sure.
It's every couple of months.
Oh, yeah. So if people that are interested, they can line that up ahead of time.
Right, and they can always go on our website because that's updated every month where we will be with drives for the
Ah.
month.
Okay.
And they can always call the donor room as well.
All right. So if people are interested in donating, can they attend somebody else's blood drive? So you're set up at my place for a blood drive.
Most of them are open to the public. The schools are not. The schools are closed just because
because
of
of
the
the kids.
student population
Yep.
and the kids. But most of the businesses are open to the public.
Okay. Now, this is all the mobile side of giving blood. People can also come to the hospital to give blood?
Yes.
Both hospitals?
Just Cape Cod.
Just Cape Cod
Yeah,
Hospital?
but we do always share with Falmouth.
Okay. Then how does one do that? Somebody says, I'll never get to a drive, I'm working, I'm going to come to the hospital when I can. Are there certain hours, and do they need to make an appointment?
I would suggest making an appointment just because we might be out on a blood drive.
Oh,
So
okay,
give
and
us
it's
a
the
call
same
ahead of time.
population,
But
same
right,
people.
but we're usually there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
Okay,
But I would definitely call just to make sure.
okay. And they can just call the hospital's main number and they'll
Just ask for the
transfer
donor
them
center.
into the right
Yep.
place. Now, to estimate the needs, does the blood have a shelf life?
It does.
Okay,
Yep, it has an expiration date. And that's that fine line you walk to make sure that we always have enough blood on hand, but you don't want to have too much where, you would end up doing,
not have to be able to
Yeah.
use it, right?
And we don't, we are really good with using all of our blood.
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the trickiest part, I suppose, is managing the need. Is there, are there challenges with blood type? Are people typed when they're there? So do you know?
No, but
No.
you will get a card in the mail with your blood type, like
Okay.
a little donor identification card. So you'll have your type in your, you can keep it in your wallet.
So you don't get necessarily that specific on, boy, we could really use some O negative now?
Every once in a while, you'll see a critical need
Is
for
that
O
right?
negs.
Yeah.
And if you put out the plea, a lot of people know that they're O negs, and they will come in and donate.
What's the incentive for people to donate, other than the feel good that I have? And maybe that's it.
For a lot of people, that's exactly what it is. We do offer little thank you gifts.
Ah.
We'll have movie passes or T-shirts or coffee mugs, that type of thing. Dunkin' Donuts gift cards.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. And if for some reason I'm deferred at the time of a donation time, do I check back later if I'm still interested, or once I'm been off the list, I'm off the list?
It depends what you're off the list
Ah,
for.
okay,
Yeah,
very
some
good.
people are off the list, unfortunately, for indefinite.
Indefinitely, okay.
But most people are temporarily deferred. You know, they have cold symptoms or their hemoglobin wasn't high enough. So absolutely, you know, give it a couple weeks and check back.
So we only have about 2 minutes left. So I just wonder if there's anything that we haven't talked about that you wish viewers knew about the program.
I think just to get the word out that we have the blood center at the hospital.
Okay. So it's the blood center. They can come to that. They can check the website
Right.
for upcoming
Drives.
drives.
And they can always call, and I'm willing to come out and talk to them and give them any information they need about hosting a drive or attending a drive or just donating.
What kind of logistics are needed for a size of the room, or what kind of space does somebody need to host a drive?
We can work in.
You bring in beds?
We
the whole
bring
bit?
all our own equipment. We provide everything. All we need basically is a good sized room with electric outlets.
Okay. How many beds do you bring in? Does it depend on what the room
Depends.
is?
Yeah, usually 4 to 5,
And how long do the drives last?
usually 6 hours.
Oh, all right. If you're going to go through all that of bringing
Right.
all that equipment in.
But we
right?
work around the business's schedule too, so we can do it any time of day.
Okay. Very good. So if people are interested in hosting a drive, they should call you.
Absolutely.
Giving, they should call you. Yeah, find out where. Good. Very good.
And
They
the only
give
other
on the
thing
Cape, it stays on the Cape, yeah?
Yes. The other thing that I'd like to say too is I met with a man this morning who told me that he was a blood donor, and one time he went to donate and he wasn't allowed to because his hemoglobin was too low, and the girls at the blood center said to him, "You need to have this checked out because something just doesn't seem right." Well, he went to his doctor, had a series of tests, and found out that he had cancer.
Oh,
So
wow.
he credits the Blood Donor Center for saving his life, because
Nice.
he was able to find out that
Yeah.
he had something going on.
Yep.
So it's not only do you help someone else, but it could help you
It
as
could
well.
help you too. That's a good thought.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Connie, for being here today.
Thank you,
I
Jean.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time
Thank
and your
you.
knowledge. All right. And I'm Jean Sarnowski, wishing you good health and good health care.